Hello everyone, back with our next part of the same chapter, that's electricity. In this part we are going to talk about the conductors and insulators. Now this particular topic is already done in our 8th chapter also, where we have talked about sorting material into groups. So in that also we have seen what are conductors and insulators of electricity. So here again the topic comes. So we already have an idea that any material that allows the electric current, that is the electrons to flow through it, are known as conductors, and these materials are mostly metals. The example for that is the electric wires which we have at home. They are made up of copper. So copper is present inside, and the outer coating of the wire is an insulator, okay, which is a bad conductor of electricity and which do not allow the electric current to pass through it, and therefore this insulator avoids the condition of getting an electric shock. So conductors, again I repeat, that is any material that allows electric current to pass through it is known as a conductor of electricity, and the ones which do not allow the electric current to pass through it are known as insulators. Okay, so conductors are mostly metals like copper, aluminium, steel, and insulators are plastic, rubber, cloth, wood, glass. All these are the bad conductors of electricity. Now how do the electricity reaches our home? Okay, now we all know that electricity is being generated in the power station, okay, and we all know that thermal power plant is the place where the electricity is being generated by burning coal. From there it goes to the transformer, okay. From the transformer it moves to the transmission cables which carries the electric cables to a longer distance, and from there it's been again transformed to the transformer which are at your nearby places in your societies or your residential places. From there it comes to the electric distribution light, that is the electric poles present on the roadside, and from there again the cables are being transferred which reaches or which passes the electricity to your home. So this is how is the journey of the electricity from the power plant to your home. Now you all know the ways by which electricity can be generated, which we have already seen in our 16th chapter, that is electricity is generated by various natural resources. We burn coal, we even have natural gas, we can generate electricity by wind, solar energy, water. So these are the different ways by which electricity can be generated. The next topic of ours is dry cell. Now this dry cell is also very well known to you. Yes, you all might have seen dry cells at your home in remote controls, in torch, or in any of the things which have been made up of batteries. Okay, so dry cell, here there is a chemical present inside a dry cell which converts it into electricity. So here conversion of chemical energy is being done into electrical energy. So the chemical, you can see in the diagram, it's been shown that the top of the dry cell has a positive terminal. Now whenever you observe a battery, or sorry, a cell, you can see there are two terminals present. The topper terminal is the positive terminal and the lower terminal is known as the negative terminal. And when two or more dry cells or cells are brought together, it makes up a battery. Okay, now if you try to take a section of this particular dry cell, you can observe the internal structure of it. The internal part consists of a muslin bag. There's a bag being made up of muslin cloth which consists of chemicals. Carbon and manganese dioxide is a chemical which is filled inside the dry cell. These chemicals react with each other and then converts into electricity. Okay, so this is how the stored chemical which is there inside the dry cell, they react to produce electricity, and then the electric device starts running on it. Okay, and as I've already told you that two or more cells when they are connected together is called a battery. As we have in remote controls do not have only one cell, there is a battery. We all at least use two cells for running the remotes. Okay, Even you might have observed that these cells are present in different shapes and different types. We have a pencil cell which is being fitted in remote controls or the clocks that we have on our wall, and the cell which is used in a wristwatch is a button cell. So there are many types of cell, and they all have chemicals present into them which afterwards get converted into electricity. Okay, so this was all about dry cell. Our next topic, that is bulb, that we are going to continue in our next part of the chapter.